Time for us to shift focus to Westham United as we do return to the Old Trafford. But before we move on, I'm gonna make you scream my name. Mainoo made Sir Alex Ferguson scream his name in the stands with that victory, that amazing goal as we do beat Wolves in the game in midweek. I'll tell you about that and a record this boy has set. I'll also give you an update on the issues with Jude Bellingham and Mason Greenwood in the La Liga. Black on black crimes going on that side. We're following them and let's see where this ends. Welcome to the official team news as we do get prepared to return to Old Trafford where we last failed to beat Tottenham Hotspur, but hoping this time we will beat the team that is just a place and a point ahead of us. My name is Webb. Subscribe to the hotspot and let's get into it. But let me start it off with some good news. Now, we also what happened in about the 86th minute of the game against Wolves when our big man, our centre back who had just returned, Lisandro Martinez, was pulled off by the boss. Now he has offered a beautiful update saying that it was just precautionary, but Lisandro Martinez is not injured, so he will be available for selection for that game against West Ham United tomorrow. It was just, him. He's been injured for a long time in his foot, and we do know that that is what has kept him out for such a big period of time, and we've suffered. We saw what he brings to our team. Best centre-back by far in the league. Don't tell me about Virgil van Dijk, by the way. When Lisandro Martinez is fit, he's the best centre-back, best ball passer, best footballer, in probably one of the best three in Manchester United. So he will be available for that game and there should be no worries. So guys, let's just keep positive and focus. He offered an update on other players like Mason Mount, who he feels for because he has been struggling and doing bad since the second game of the season. He will be out for a bit longer. They are trying to rehabilitate him to return slowly, and he's still thinks Mount can play a role in this 2023-2024 season for Manchester United. So is Victor Lindelof, who is back training but not fully available for his start, but he trained with the rest of the squad on Wednesday. There is hope that very soon he will be back but not ready for West Ham. So is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, could be available in the squad. A late test is expected to be done on him, but he had a small, complaint, but he's back training, so they are waiting to see and assess whether he will be back. Tyrell Malaysia and Anthony Martial are the ones who are completely out of the squad. That's the team news for you just before we take over West Ham. But regardless, we are going to be hoping and expecting that Erik ten Hag will feel largely the same team that beat Wolves in that way, hoping that this time around there should be an improvement in how we manage the game. Speaking of management, one of the greatest, if not the greatest manager in the history of football, Sir Alex Ferguson, was in the stands as always as we traveled to Mainoo, where we do beat Wolves. Now, he was screaming the name of Kobe with that winning goal that he scored. And I tell you, if you're good, regardless how young or old you are, you will make the oldest and the great stand up and bow to your name. That's exactly what Kobe Mainoo did to Sir Alex Ferguson with this goal. Now, up to today, and that's why you don't expect me to move on from him. Where is my badge? How did I do this? Where is my badge? Anyway, so up to today, the United players are still talking. Up to today, the United players are yet to move on from that Kobe Mainoo performance. You saw how they were jumping and engulfing him after the win. The players from the bench, from Amad Diallo, Rasmus Højlund, Casemiro, Marcus Rashford, everyone. Now, how do you expect me to move on from him? Now, this is what I mean. He has just received his Player of the Month for last month, January's award as best player. I do know that at the end of this month, he will be receiving another one. But Kobe Mainoo and Omari Fosun made a record. They now join the ranks of Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo as the two teenagers who have assisted and scored a goal at Manchester United. These are the youngest kids to do that. The last was Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney, and we all know how they later on became two of the greatest players to ever play for United. I've been saying this before, and I do think that this generation, the youngsters we have now at United, including those we brought in like Rasmus Højlund, have got the potential, by the way. These boys have got the potential to come close to the class of 92 and the great young kids that's Alex Ferguson, the team he built around the class of 92. I do know they do have this potential. Even this Omari Fosun kid is quite a baller and he's one for us to watch. It's not by mistake that he's in the squad. He's only 19, but boy, I love his hunger and energy when he does come on. I hope that for this time against West Ham, can we get an opportunity to see Kobe Mainoo playing as a number 10, a bit closer to the number 9, to Hoyland. I want to see what more damage he can cause because we are yet to see the best of Kobe. Mark my words. Now, moving on, talking about Mason Greenwood, he's trending and he's been trending, guys, for all the bad reasons, not because of him, but because of some selfish little boy from England who perhaps he was a role model for a few years ago before he hit his ordeal. Now, in that 2-0 victory by Real Madrid over Getafe, Jude Bellingham, a fellow black English boy, apparently is shouting at Mason Greenwood after an altercation. Of course, on-pitch altercations are there, regardless of whether you're from the same country. And he apparently calls him a rapist. And what this, according to Mason Greenwood, he doesn't care about what Jude Bellingham says. He said he wants to focus on playing football, what he loves to do. He has missed the game, the most ambidextrous player in the history of the game, probably. But he's saying, for me, I'm focusing on the football, but Getafe are not taking this lightly. Apparently, what Getafe are doing, they have gone to La Liga, and they do want La Liga to take this case on and find out what exactly, if Jude Bellingham really called Mason Greenwood a rapist, they are going to be taking him on and trying to see what exactly the worst punishment they can give him. And I do hope they do. If it is true, we find out and something is done. But what La Liga is doing, they have hired a lip reader to actually read the lips of Jude Bellingham to see if exactly that's what he said. Now, if he said this, what a black on black crime that would be. Jude, a player that everyone has idolized. I was here in my video when I was comparing him to Kobe Mainoo because I think he's the only player right now we can compare to Kobe, and I still think Kobe is better. But I think Jude Bellingham sort of brought back for me memories of David Beckham, and I thought like Jude Bellingham had the character to be the black David Beckham. That he's even better because he's tall and dark and handsome. He's a black guy and obviously would already be better. And you think the girls like him. He's a showman. That's why Perez went for him. Perez goes for showman. But if he did that, calling his fellow English player a black player, it shows he either had a level of envy on him because of how Greenwood has been ahead of him in terms of how they emerged and developed as players. Maybe he's a bad person, a bad character, even if he pretends to become. Because why on earth would Jude Bellingham shout to Mason Greenwood, scream at him like that? It doesn't make sense. Well, let me not dwell on Jude Bellingham and his bad manners. I hope if he's found guilty, they give him a befitting ban or suspension for more than 8 or 6 months out of football, even longer. But he's the poster boy of the La Liga now. It will be difficult. But that could be a prima facie case. They tell us not to talk about cases in court. Yes, in the La Liga court, it's going on because you might, I think, age the evidence and all. So let me leave Bellingham at that and focus on our Manchester United. Guys, focusing on our game. Key changes I would think, whereas the personnel could be the same, the only change I would want to see is Altel starting goal, so that we have a clear comparison of whether our best or strongest team is really the best with Andre Onana in goal or with Altel in goal. I think Onana needs to be given his deserved rest. Eric Ten Hag, that's the one thing I hope you do. But also, I do want to try and see, and I think even against West Ham we can give this a try. I do want to see Kobe Mainoo playing as a number 10, and we see what will happen. Those are for me the two changes I'm hoping to see. That said, we need to manage the game better. Casemiro needs to calm down a bit and stop hitting and injuring players when he doesn't have to, because trust me, if he did that against these nobodies of Wolves, what is he going to do when he's facing Muhammad Kudus? Probably the second fastest or fastest player in the league now. It will be worse. We'll be conceding free kicks and red cards and all. So I hope we have a more disciplined game, but also hope they don't put us under so much pressure like this. I still predict that United will win this game at Old Trafford. West Ham, whereas this man has won the most games after Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger in the Premier League. That is David Moyes, the coach of West Ham. I still think Eric Ten Hag has got it in him to beat him. For now, guys, I think it's high time we change this. Imagine my mom suggested this, by the way. I changed this to Kobe Mainoo. Don't you like the idea? I think I have such a smart mother. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing. This is going to be becoming Kobe. Or I just add Kobe on because we love both of these kids. I think I should just add Kobe on my home screen here. Tell me what you think. Anyhow, hotspot, subscribe. My name is Webb. It's been an awesome start to the month of Feb, the month of love, and with love from me to you and the Kobe fraternity, we say subscribe. Peace.